Remember those days?
It's still those days.
Opening up, like a Rolling Stone magazine and seeing
That stupid head.
that
That
dude
ridiculous
sitting
head.
in the
with the chair.
in the chair with his hair being blown back by the
Yes,
speakers.
I am that old.
Is it live or is it Memorex?
Yes.
Google it.
Okay, I'll Google it.
Millennials. So
He can't come out right now. He's practicing.
how we doing, Joe? Okay. Let's continue.
Yeah, I thought I heard something muttering from the other
So
room.
we have Nathan Hubbard,
Nathan Hubbard,
Yeah.
John Calvo, Tenshun,
a.k.a. Tenshun.
Curtis Glatter.
Glatter.
You don't have a nickname or anything? Okay. So I've known the two of you we're really going to date ourselves here, for over 20 years.
I guarantee you have done multiple Tremor Flora events where Tenshun was involved as well. I don't know if you've ever actually...
Spring Reverb, probably.
Because Curtis moved, we were actually doing the math. Curtis moved to town in 01? And then
Oh,
I
wow.
think the first time we all played was 03 for New Sounds Downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we've been doing stuff since. So it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. What have you learned?
What have you learned from our relationship?
I don't know if that was a serious question. 'Cause
It was.
I don't
It
have an
was.
answer. Let me think about it. Probably nothing.
Can I go? What have I learned? I've learned that what I thought was like a small scene is really kind of like a big scene, and it endures. It stands the test of time.
I think every city has a small scene, and together all of that is a big scene. There's a worldwide scene, people doing things in every town.
You mean like experimental or avant-garde?
Yeah, maybe, but maybe everything as well, different things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were just talking about Tremor Flora Collective and these different things, and yeah.
What was Tremor Flora Collective?
Sorry, Tremor Flora Collective was a collective of musicians banding together. Well, the language changed over the years, but basically it was a bunch of people that didn't really fit in any specific genre and came together to support each other, create places to play, festivals. So we put on multiple concerts over the years, concert series, festivals, yearly festivals. For many years, the Spring Reverb Festival put out multiple compilation CDs. First, the Accretions Tremor Flora compilation, and later the Rebel compilations.
Mm-hmm.
And bring people to town and create new opportunities and all those things. Curtis and myself were members. John was sort of a, what do you call that? Where you're like honorary member. You were an honorary member because you were
That was
always
just
there.
a tag-along.
No. I mean, there was a large crew of different people doing interesting things. And
Yeah, I met
Meeting
Marcos
up.
in '97,
yeah.
and I was really itching to work for a record label. When I found out that he had his own label that he ran by himself, I just hit him up and said, "Hey, you need an intern?" Because
Yeah.
Cargo Records wouldn't take me. I swear. I think the girl who was doing the hiring for interns, a non-paying job, took one look at me and thought I was high. But I had bloodshot eyes because I wasn't getting any sleep. I'll never forget that. And then like maybe 1 or 2 days later, after getting rejected and really hating that fact, I met Marcos, and he was like, "Yeah, come on by. My office is right off Washington Street." And I live down the street in Mission Hills, I could ride my bike there in 2 minutes,
Yeah.
or walk in 15.
Yeah.
And so I started volunteering in the office. This is when Wormhole Effect had just released their first
Okay.
Was it self-titled? I can't remember. It was the one with the spiral. It's kind
Yeah.
of green and blue. That had just been released.
The one with the
Yeah.
gummy worm and the spine?
That was later. That was the.
Oh, that was the second
That was
one.
the Bastard Musicians of Mesmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I helped him with that. I actually helped put the gummies
Put the gummy worms in
we
the
actually
spine.
assembled all those had clear
Yeah.
plastic CD cases,
Yeah.
and we put all those things together.
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved in accretions, and then later on, I kind of have anointed myself as the person behind getting Tremor Flora together, because I had met Hans Fjellestad. I forget exactly where. Oh yeah, that's right. Somebody at KCR, Jim Gary, he suggested that I put together a concert with this SDSU New Music Ensemble
David Wertzheimer,
with the UCSD experimental people.
which was
And so we
called-
put
okay,
on. I
so-
put on this show at El Camperouz Theater,
Yeah.
and it was the flyer said SDSU versus UCSD, and that's where I met Marcos for the first time, and I met Hans Fjellestad.
Okay.
And then I think that was like in December, and then like 6 months later, I put together a show at Claire de Lune with Hans and Wormhole, I think, or Ultra 7. I can't remember which bands it were.
Yeah.
It was, but that's when Marcos met Hans and sort of created the whole Tremor Flora.
Yeah. I think
Thing.
they all, there was some sort of weird call and they all met at New News. I wasn't involved. I think I was the first one invited to become part of that. And then as the years wore on, Al Scholl, Curtis became part of that. Christy Cheadle. There was a few different people. Some people from UCSD that came by, and then people from the thing. Yeah, that was a good period. There was a lot of stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of actually came out of that because Curtis moved to town, we started working, and then we started getting involved with those people. Curtis started a series called New Sounds Downtown, so we were doing like a sort of like a seasonal series where we do a couple concerts a year.
What
featuring.
venue?
Well, we started. I approached Volsalta
Okay.
about doing a music series there, like 4 concerts a year, just getting locals involved. And then
And this was
we
the-
did the very first, myself, Nate, and Tenshun, and a conga player, Juan Sanchez, did the very first
and
one.
Jason Robinson.
And Jason Hubbard was there. So that was at Volsalta. We said, listen, we'll give you a portion of the door if we can put on this new music series. And it lasted for over 5 years. So after I left town in 2006, Nate took it over.
Yeah.
So
And this
this
was the original Vosalta.
Yeah, the one across the street from where El Camperouz used to be.
Yeah. No, well,
16th Street.
no, not on 16th and Broadway. It was right by
Okay, so
Pokey's.
that's the second one.
Oh, that's the second one.
Yes.
Okay. That was the first one I knew. And then they moved to 16th right next to Landlord Jim's. And we had Tremor Flora had a series there for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
and I
yeah.
think New Sounds did that as well. And then New Sounds went to a bar in Point Loma. And then at some point I lost my mind. I said I was not putting on any more concerts. After a while, you can't do it.
Yeah, I said that too. I said I would never organize anything anymore.
And here you are doing live streams.
4 years later. Well, I first heard about Tenshun through Sam Lopez, Stay Strange.
Yeah.
So he's sort of been doing the similar thing that Tremor Flora started 20 years ago. He's been doing that since I think 2012. I think this is his 10-year anniversary for doing stuff.
For Stay Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which basically started kind of as Tremor Flora folded. He kind of took the umbrella and took the mantle, whatever the phrase is, and kept that
Did
going.
they give him a baton or something? A noisemaker?
It was just me and him on the phone. I was like, I don't want to do this. And he was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And I was like, okay, do it.
Yeah, I met him
So-
when he did I heard about the experimental guitar.
Oh yeah, that was a great series.
Fest that he did.
Did you do that?
Yeah,
That's right.
It was that.
I remember that.
Was that when Marcelo played with the League of Assholes?
Yeah,
Because that show was when I met Sam. Because I knew that Marcelo was going to play. I'm like, hey Marcelo, I have this brand new camera. I don't know what to do with it. I mean, no. You know what I really said was, hey, can I document your event? You know, the event that you're going to play. He's like, sure. And so as I was walking with all my gear towards the Void or Soda Bar, that's when I met Sam on the sidewalk.
Yeah, it was.
And I recognized him from the City Beat article.
Yeah.
And said, hey, you're the guy that organized it. Do you mind if I shoot video? And he was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, he was doing. I heard about him because he had this thing called the Smog Shop, which was literally a smog shop in National City, and they were doing concerts there.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then we actually met. Curtis and I played at the library. We did a series of music for new music for film, and I had met. I think I hooked up with him via MySpace or something, and him and I think Esteban came out and came to the concert and said hello. Started working together. Yeah.
So what was that all about? New music for film?
Yeah, when we started working together, this dude called me and was like, "Yeah, I want to do Vampire, the night in the Carl Dreyer, and I want to do new music over it." And I was like, "What the f?" And then and he was living downtown, so we went and rehearsed for a little bit and put on this concert at the San Diego Library. And we did
the old one or
the old one.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, this was like 01?
Yeah, 01 to 03.
Yeah.
We did like 3 years, like
one a year. Yeah, we did Vampire, Rashomon, and Blood of a Poet. And then that was the first CD we put out, was like condensed versions of those 3 scores.
Oh wow.
Which weren't really scores, they were just kind of like, I mean, it wasn't like, you normally think like Beethoven or something. We worked out some stuff to get through the movie. And then Curtis decided he wanted to do, there was 2 groups. There was Obscuricon, which John was in as well.
Obscuricon.
Yeah, which sort of folded. That was like a bigger group. And then Troikastra. And Troikastra is the one that seems to have lasted.
Well, I thought it was like something you just put together for tonight.
No. Well, okay, we have not played since 2015. And if you remember, we got sent to secondary in 2015. So this is going to be a way better night than that.
Oh, crossing the border?
Yeah, we played, what's the venue? 1512? 1215? The one right next to Mustache Bar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got sent to secondary because somebody went in the wrong lane on the way back. So
secondary is fun.
Especially when you have a car full of equipment.
Exactly. That happened to us.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, we've been doing this for a while, and we actually Curtis has been out. We've been trying to finish the mixes on it. We finally have a debut recording, so we're trying to have that done this year.
Debut?
Yeah, it took us like 15, 16 years to do it. What was the first gig? At Desi's in like 06 or something. It's been a while.
Dizzy's, wow.
No, Desi's. It's a bar in Point Loma. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think we've all, yeah. I mean, it's that cross-country relationship thing. You can only play it's not like you play every 6 months. You play every 2 years.
So you moved here to San Diego from where?
Originally lived in Detroit for about 28 years. And then I was going to go on vacation to 3 of the cities, and I just stayed here after visiting the city. And I saw everything that was happening within 10 days with Drummer Floor and with the space and the atmosphere and the creativity, and of course being half an hour from Mexico, 2 hours from LA. So I said, this is where I'd love to live. So I met a bunch of great people, and after meeting all the great people, I just felt at home. So I stayed here for 6 years, didn't go back after I just went on vacation for 5 days. So 5 days turned into 5 years, 6 years. Things got a little bit hectic in 2006 with all the rent going up downtown. I was like, 400 turned into 800, and I was just like, okay, well, I think it's time. You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They call it the good old days.
Yeah.
I used to pay, what was it, 150 for 100 square feet in a warehouse. That's all I had, like a 10 by 10.
Let's not talk about that. It's going to make us all sad.
All right, so
Let's make some music.
Yeah,
These mics.
I guess I'll get off stage. Right?
Well, I'm coming for that and for that. No. Yeah. Troikastra.
Troikastra.
Oh, you got it, Xavier.
Since he told his followers this simple truth, Jesus healed every manner of disease through his faith in God. He told us that we can do likewise when we believe that we can. The power which all which you use then is available to everyone right now. Like life itself, it is around and within everything. Like a divine law of good, it protects everyone. This power can do anything because it is the power of God. Spiritual body, which is right where I am. Which is right where I am. I accept the circulation of divine light, love and energy. As this divine life flows through me, it eliminates everything that does not belong to its own perfect being. My body assimilates everything that does belong to it.
Black hole, exclaimed Vincent. highest force in the universe. Nothing can escape it.
Charlie, the youngest crew member, had another surprise.
Captain Holland, there's a ship sitting motionless on the edge of the black hole.
USS Cygnus. But that's impossible. The Cygnus disappeared 20 years ago. How could any ship defy the force of a black hole? All right, crew, let's go down and have a look. God.
I want to reform. I mean it. I promise Evelyn, I promise myself, and I believe it. I tell her it's the last time.
stand strong. You will hesitate at the moment of truth.
skunks for good ratters. Molly was right. She gave me confidence in myself. I paid her back, too. The first money I ever borrowed. Saying I was peddling baby carriages and she and the girls had better take advantage of our bargain offer. All right.
check, check, check.
He's got a handful of mics and he knows how to use them. Does he
Bring
check
you,
them?
bring you a bouquet.
Will you accept this rose?
Okay, it's my turn to get back on stage.
Wow. We went there.
And there I am. So I have a question. Do you guys have any rules for when you're playing together? Like, hey, you all need to listen, or do you just get in your own zone?
Well, okay, so before we played, when we recorded, we decided we were just going to do shorter pieces. And then so right before we played, we said, yeah, let's do like a couple of shorter pieces. And then we totally didn't do that. So I mean, we all kind of know, we sort of have roles. Like clearly I have a drum module here, so there's drums. But then John also does a ton of interesting drum stuff. And then Curtis also has drums on his keyboard. So any of us could be a drummer. And then in terms of like harmony and like chords, if you want to think in like normal music making, like I think either of us could play stuff that's kind of chordal.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this one is like a 16 RPM and an 8 RPM, so it slows everything down.
Mm.
So any of the really like that kind of stuff is usually me.
Mm.
And then what else?
Do you do scratching, or is
No,
the scratching only happens
that's
here?
this guy.
Oh,
The fact that I have a turntable next to him is one of the stupidest things I've done on the whole planet. It's a ballsy move that I am paying for. So I guess we sort of have roles and we kind of switch. I think we're pretty comfortable switching, like who's interacting with each other. Sometimes there's drony stuff with interaction. Sometimes there's all drony stuff. Sometimes everybody's interacting. That's generally the kind of thing. I mean, there's definitely like I said with the promo language, like musique concrète, plunderphonics, that kind of world. We definitely live in that world. This is not like a drone band. It's not like a harsh noise band.
what is musique concrète?
French movement in the 50s and the 60s where people started using recorded sounds to create pieces of music. But instead of using like violins, they would use recordings of like streetcars. Pierre Schaeffer, Pierre Henry, some of the classic ones. Happening sort of at the same time. The Germans were using more sine waves and things like that. So like the idea of using any everyday sound, putting it together, which clearly is, if you have a bunch of these, like there's lots of options. So that kind of idea that any sound can be used as anything else.
I didn't know I was a fan of musique concrète. When I first saw that I guess name, genre, whatever, I just imagined people using
Concrete bricks.
using concrete or something, like, I don't know, scraping metal on concrete, breaking concrete with sledgehammers, making concrete. But thank you for that
Thank you.
education.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for tonight. And yeah, it was pretty funny. The moment that you messaged me about playing was when I was actually looking desperately for somebody to fill in the slot. It was pretty interesting.
Well, I appreciate you being open.
Of course.
With this whole COVID, it's kind of, and clearly, it's not as easy as it seems to get booked in a bar when you play music like this. So.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you to Rabbit Lights.
Yes.
That was rad.
And that guy over there, triple, quadruple duty.
Of course.
Quadruple duty. 1, 2, 3. Wait, does he have? He has to spin more, doesn't he?
John Jolly squared.
Yeah.
All right, John.
Thank you, Xavier.
Let me get over here and bring up the fader for you.